Yeah.
He's a former national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Mr. Wintami Paul Afoko, has cautioned the party to reconsider its decision to elect a flag bearer before conducting constituency, regional, and national executive elections. He says he argued that the party is attempting to build a huge structure without a solid foundation.
Okay.
According to him, if the NPP proceeds to elect a flag bearer first, it will be difficult for the subsequent elected executives to accept a leader they did not help to choose and trust. Speaking on United Television's UTV in Punimpu, I hope I got the pronunciation correctly, Mr. Afoko said the current party structure is disconnected from the grassroots as well as the elders of the party. He asserted that the NPP is currently a headless party due to the executive's refusal to consistently consult party elders when taking serious decisions. He noted that complaints from former President John Ejekun Kufuor and other senior figures are not listened to, reflect poorly on the party. He therefore urged the party leadership to seek counsel from respected elders, such as the former President Kufuor, Mr. Kojo Pienim, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, Dr. Charles Rekobrobe, Mr. J. Dakun, among others. He warned that failure to tap wisdom from those notable figures would lead the party nowhere. According to him, the bottom-up approach in electing party officers remains the best way to unite the grassroots.
Yeah.
He cited the recent general elections where the party recorded 0 votes in about 30 polling stations despite having executives in place as evidence of a structural disconnect.
Okay.
Why should and I'm quoting him, why should the same polling station executives who refused to vote in the last general election now be made to choose a flag bearer for the party? He quizzed, adding that who builds a house starting from the roof? The process must begin with the foundation before the roofing. Mr. Afoko stressed that the bottom-up approach has over the years produced 2 presidents for the NPP, questioning why the current leadership would discard such a proven process in favor of an unfamiliar one. He also criticized the party's decision to conceal Professor Michael Quay's report, which, according to him, indicts several officers, including some current executives. Responding to calls for him to support any of the flag bearer hopefuls, Mr. Afoko firmly rejected them, stating them as a former national executive. He strongly disagrees with the tactics and maneuvering being employed to prioritize the flag bearership election over the election of polling station, except constituency, regional, and national officers. Now, reflecting on his suspension, Mr. Afoko said, fortunately for the NPP, he and his team had laid the groundwork before his exit, which enabled the party to win the 2016 elections. Without him, although he admits he was unfairly treated, he said he harbors no grudge. So that's in today's Accra Times. What do you make of this? I mean, this man is a big figure. He's a stalwart.
Yes.
Politically.
Yes. There are a number of things that has been set over there. I'm going to disagree with him, especially the polling stations that he said because of the disconnect.
Right.
We recorded 0 in certain places.
Okay.
I have some personal knowledge about those polling stations. I'll speak to them. But whether the bottom-up approach is the best approach, yes, the conventional way of doing things had always been the bottom-up approach. The party have done that consistently for a very long time. But I believe that currently, as we stand, we are in a very unusual time. Look, immediately after the election, you can see how we're almost holding each other's throats. Look at the number. I don't want to repeat them. I've always believed in issue-based campaign. But look at some of these utterances that are ongoing. And I believe if we do not elect our flag bearer now, and if we want to wait until a year to election or 1.5 years to election, it could be that we may not be able to reconcile the leadership after, those various fashion after a leadership race. We may have problem in reconciling them. And I believe without proper reconciliation, if we get to general election, we may have problems. So I believe early election, whether January should be the earliest we should do it. I am not just saying that. But the party have looked through to this. I remember as soon after the election, when we lost, I had the opportunity of seeing the vice president the next day. We all went there to show our solidarity. And then people were coming out with various reasons as to why we lost. So he said it was too early for us to even apportion him blame. So let's wait. The party will probably appoint a committee, and the committee will look into the various reasons why we lost. Even though the report has not been made public. But there are some people who have known the content of the report, and they have spoken to that report. And I think the idea that we should have an early leadership race to get a flag bearer is informed by that particular research. So if indeed it's informed by that particular research, and they said, let's have an early election. And for me, if such a decision is made, and somebody is talking about the legitimacy of it, I would want to ask a question, whether if a flag bearer were to be elected in January, would that flag bearer have some legitimacy to preside over the party? And for me, the answer there is yes. Because those current executives still have democratic legitimacy. They have a mandate. And they have a mandate up to some extent. And they shouldn't forget that it is not just these executives that the flag bearer need to more or less command the respect. Almost every member of the party. For me, it is an anomaly that even up to since 1992, when we came to the Fourth Republic, up to now, it's still a small number of people who have to even decide a flag bearer. For me, the time is right for both the NDC and the NPP to allow all members of their parties to vote. And I think the party, by expanding this register, I think we are moving towards that. So for me, general election doesn't trouble me because I know those executives still have a mandate. And if they have the mandate, they should be able to elect a flag bearer. It's just a different strategy. It's an unconventional way. I'm not saying there will not be disagreement. Change is difficult. And that is why people would always stop. What I'll urge the party to do is give them the freedom to discuss, to criticize. You see, free speech, if you look at the defense of free speech, why we must have it in a democracy. The J.S. Mills article is quite good. Okay. Argument from the truth. I think one of the reasons is argument from the truth. Nobody has exclusive right or control over the truth. Right. It's through argument and debate is where we arrive at. So I welcome some of the argument he made. Right. And if you are pointing to the argument from the truth, this is why I am interested in the content of it. Right. So usually when they say there were some police stations that we recorded 0, and that shows the disconnect between the leadership and the executive. Where are those police stations? Right. Those police stations are around the Boku area, where we have the troubles. Now, a day before the election, I had the opportunity of being at Bolga. And I was there to help campaign for some people. And when you go to the Boku, I had the opportunity of going to the Boku station because some people had called upon us to come and help negotiate. There was a large number of people who were at the station and they were going to Boku to vote. And they wouldn't get a vehicle. In fact, I had the opportunity of going with a colleague to the office to negotiate with those with buses. I spoke to somebody. They were saying that because of the trouble in that area, they were not prepared to move people over there. And when we negotiated, we came to realize that people had wanted to make money out of it. Because they were saying that if you are able to get some military escorts, plus you're prepared to pay an insurance of almost 30,000 per every bus. And then pay, in addition to the insurance, to pay 30,000 for every bus that will take people over there. You will pay individual fee, which is almost equivalent to moving from Bolga to Accra. So it got to a point that it was almost impossible somebody could foot those bills. Right. So almost everybody in that station couldn't get to Boku to vote. And you can see that, and over there too, you could see that because of the trouble area, people had to run to certain area that will ensure their security. Right. So it was largely almost all the Kusasi control areas. You couldn't get, and if you look at the history very well and see the pattern of voting, it's like the Kusasi were predominantly voting NDC, and Mamprisi predominantly vote NPP. So the Kusasi control area, those people even perceived to be an NPP, your security is at risk. So those executives, there's no way you could vote over there.
Right.
And I understood even security were largely absent in those polling stations.
Okay.
So even the security themselves withdrew themselves from there.
Okay.
And we all know how elections are held.
Right.
Usually, if things are not policed, you're likely to get zero over there. The counting process. Our democracy is not yet perfect. It's not like people truly make their decision based on true and fair. No, these things are still manipulated. So for me, I wasn't surprised that some polling stations were recording zero because it can be explained with these particular troubles.
Okay.
And I don't think that can be a basis to inform the decisions that are good. This is the evidence. This is the reason why we must start from bottom up, so that a flag bearer would achieve legitimacy from these executives. And I had the opportunity to running for NPP primaries to become a member of parliament as well. If you look at the strategy of electing this executive, like the polling station executive, the idea was that these people would almost represent the party in the electoral area. And they would campaign on behalf of the party. So while we get their vote, five people from each polling station will be able to convince their members. And I believe the way we do our primary can also even affect us at a lower level. So sometimes, maybe if you are the aspirant, you come, you meet only 5 people. Usually, after meeting these 5 people, the other members feel alienated. Why is these 5 people treated in a special way? And usually, this is not secret. Both NDC and NPP. Sometimes when you're a party company, some goodies are given. And those things further even alienate the basis.
But Ishaq, he raises some other interesting
Points. Okay.
Or arguments. He says, if the party proceeds to elect a flag bearer first,
Yes.
it will be difficult for the subsequent elected executives to accept a leader
Yes.
that they
Yes.
did not help to choose and trust.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
This is what I've just explained. I disagree with him.
You disagree with him?
I
Okay.
disagree with him.
All right. Now, he says that the NPP is currently a headless party due to the executive's refusal to consistently consult party elders when taking serious decisions.
Let me tell you why I disagree with him.
And refers to the
Yes.
John Kufuor.
Yeah, let me tell you why I disagree with him.
Yes.
You see, if you look at these parliamentary candidates, the way they are elected, sometimes they take certain strategies to align with a particular candidate. And usually after that election, the flag bearer even struggles to work with them. So let's assume a parliamentary candidate align themselves with Bawumia or Kennedy Ajapong or someone, and they use it as a form of strategy. And sometimes they accuse each other falsely. I remember the last election. I'm from the Northeast region. The secretary, the aspiring secretary, was accused of supporting someone other than Bawumia. And Bawumia was very popular in the Northeast region. And that one alone was like a death sentence for that particular person. Because of some of these arguments. So whatever way you do, there will always be advantages and disadvantages.
Okay.
And I believe that if the decision to hold this flag bearership election on 31st January is informed by the research that they have done, I don't have a problem with that. I would rather take that rather than an opinion that suggests that that research was wrong.
But you don't know this for a fact. You are conjecturing that perhaps the reason the party is organizing an early Congress is a fallout from the Mike Okwe report.
I've not read that, but I'm reliably informed that it recommended early flag bearership race. I understood that it recommended early flag bearership race. There was something you asked me to have in mind and comment on that, but it just escaped me.
Oh, the apology by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Okay.
Yes.
What is wrong with an apology?
Yes.
Better. So some people say it came late. Better late than never. I mean, apology is good. And of course we make mistakes. I think I've sat here and I told you, for me, E-Levy was a mistake. And I think when he had opportunity, when he became flag bearer, even though he did not clearly state that E-Levy was a mistake, but in January when he met, as soon as he became the flag bearer, he had the opportunity of speaking at the UPSA auditorium.
Okay.
He made it very clear that, that was the first policy announcement he made, that E-Levy needed to go. The haircut, I believe there were mistakes we made.
Okay.
So, of course, we are in opposition. If you do not accept that you have made certain mistake when you are in opposition, then you're already having problems.
Right.
The ability to identify your problems is part of the solutions.
Okay.
And for him, if he apologizes, the criticism, I have not heard that people are criticizing him for the apology.
Okay.
What I've heard is that he's only apologizing on his behalf, and other people, why didn't he apologize on behalf of the president?
Okay.
And my understanding is that by convention, you cannot apologize on behalf of your own boss.
So finally,
Yes.
he says the model you've always adopted,
Yes.
which is the bottom
Up.
approach,
Yes.
has produced for you
Yes.
2 presidents.
Yes.
Why do you abandon a model that works and adopt something which you may want to call an uncharted territory?
Okay.
So for him, he says that he doesn't get it.
So it sounds like the British saying that if it is not broken, don't fix it.
Absolutely.
Is that what he meant? But in this case, I said if it is informed by the research, maybe the research says it's broken.
Okay.
Then we need to fix it.
Okay.
But I quite understand some people. Look, I do not blame them.
Okay.
Change is difficult for people. But sometimes change is necessary.
Okay.
And as I said, look, we started early.
Okay.
And look at the kind of allegations people are making
Yeah.
and counter allegations.
Okay.